It's a blessing that your parents are average. Until things calm down, Lynn told me via text message that she will be living at her sister's place. Certainly it will be beneficial. Despite Mom's 2 attempts to reach her this morning, she has received no response. Once I've decided what to do next, I'll give you an update. I could really use a drink and a nap right about now. Update 1. I want to start by saying how much I appreciate all the support for my last post. I wish I could provide you better news, but what happened was exactly what you were expecting. I wanted to get everything out in this long post. I apologize for that. Just to review. I'm 31 years old and I've seen my 55-year-old mother, Nancy, behaving suspiciously around my 28-year-old fiancé, Lynn, and making fun of my 29-year-old brother, Wesley, for being more manly than me. I ought to have heeded your warning earlier. It has been a terrible 3 weeks. After establishing girls' evenings on Thursdays and, on occasion, Saturdays, Lynn started going out more. Until I noticed that she returned home reeking of Wesley's perfume, I didn't give it much thought. That one, used by all the Instagram fitness dudes who aspire to be famous. She mentioned seeing her buddy Amber for cocktails last Thursday. Seemed strange. She had been texting all day while wearing an unusual outfit and smiling in an unusual way. On my route to meet Patrick for our weekly Thursday gaming session, I chose to pass past the apartment complex where Wesley lived. Put it down to intuition or what have you, but her car was standing in the visiting area. I waited in my truck for around 20 minutes, sensing a steady increase in my blood pressure with each passing minute. When I looked out his ground floor window, I saw them. While he watched a show on his laptop, she rested her head on his shoulder as they sat on his couch. 2 people who appear completely at ease. My fiancé and my own brother. What followed was something I am neither proud nor regretful of. I strode up to his door and pounded on it. Witnessing the expressions on their faces as they ripped it open, Wesley in his ridiculous compression shirt, and Lynn in the birthday gifts I gave her. I will always remember this. Do you mean to tell me how long? Lynn started sobbing, not because she felt guilty but because she felt caught. As usual, Wesley tried to walk between us while puffing up his chest. Dude, we ought to act like grown-ups when we discuss this. I interrupted him. For how much time? A couple of months, Lynn murmured. Nothing planned it. You never sleep, and Wesley has a greater grasp on who I am. Made me laugh. To tell you the truth, I found it hilarious. Am I making myself clearer? The 29-year-old who is still renting a studio apartment. That person who sells protein powder to college students for exorbitant prices. At that point, things began to go awry. Wesley made an attempt to strike. He never cooled down. I forcefully redirected him to his apartment by grabbing his arm. Would you really attempt to physically harm me, my fiancé? Truly sophisticated, my friend. I immediately dialed our mother's number while on loudspeaker. Are you interested in hearing her words? Well, honey, I tried to tell you, she responded while laughing honestly. Everyone knows that Wesley is the stronger one. Lynn is in search of a genuine man, not a boring one. It only took a few hours for the family group chat to go off the rails. In his victim shaming, Wesley claimed that I had threatened him. He opted out. An Instagram story about going with your gut was accompanied by Lynn's use of the butterfly emoji. My mother started contacting everyone and spinning her tale of how my workaholism drove Lynn away, painting me as the villain. The dad is, as usual, keeping out of it. All of them had my sister in utter shock, according to her text message. The whole family is split apart. My rational side thinks I should stand up to my cheating fiancé and defend our relationship, but my emotional side thinks he should back down. Today, while I was at work, Lynn moved out. She pilfered all of my possessions and some that she did not even own. With the words, "I never meant to hurt you," she placed her ring on the kitchen counter. Timeless style. The worst part. A family dinner was planned for tonight by Mom. Who showed up with whom? Wesley and Lynn are clasping hands in a manner typical of adolescence. It was as if Mom had orchestrated a royal wedding from her expression of pride. Needless to say, I stayed put. Sitting at home, I kept searching for signs that I had overlooked, such as her sudden gym sessions, her new wardrobe, her tendency to put her phone down when texting Wesley, her attendance at family events he usually skipped, and her mother's penchant for drawing similarities. Listen, I'm not down in the dumps. I've even stopped being furious. I've just completed it. I've had enough of Wesley's false leader persona. Lynn's victim routine has had enough of me. Mom's manipulation has had enough of me. They assume I'll simply shrug it off and pretend it didn't happen when I attend Christmas. What is coming is completely unknown to them. Briefly put, my fiancé was found being with my brother. The entire event was essentially planned by Mother. I'm not going down without a fight, even though they're now acting like the happy couple and I'm the bad guy. Make changes. Your awards and messages are greatly appreciated. Yes, I have discussed Lynn's actions with an attorney before. And no, I will not attempt to resolve the matter amicably, as some of you suggested. It is necessary to burn certain bridges. Second edit. No more direct messages requesting Wesley's Instagram. I know you want to bring shame on him, but I'm going about it in my own manner. Second update. It's been 3 weeks since I last updated and wow. Tragically, everything went wrong. You may recall that my mom and Wesley used to take pride in the fact that I would eventually accept things the way they are. Yes, Karma is a shithead, and I am currently her favorite sidekick. I want to start by saying how much I appreciate your encouraging direct communications. Times when I wanted to imbibe excessively, you all kept me focused. Whoever suggested I investigate Wesley's business practices had a good point. I'm grateful to them. Have you forgotten how Wesley raved about his personal training company all the time? Mr. Perfect was clearly not playing by the book. The protein supplements he peddled to his clients. He sourced them from an unscrupulous vendor and repackaged them in his garage. I may have informed the Fitness Certification Authority about his unlicensed practice in an anonymous tip. And what about the finest part? Without disclosing his activities, he was running his business using Cash App and Venmo. Tax authorities are known to be rather interested in that sort of data. All I had to do was forward some of his social media posts to the right people, in which he brags about doing business exclusively in cash. No unlawful activity was involved. When Wesley's accreditation was suspended, my mother, Nancy, was not happy. Angry that I was destroying the family, she stormed over to my apartment last Tuesday. While she was having a tantrum in the corridor, I did nothing more than stand there, sipping my coffee. Even my neighbor caught it on camera. Yours faithfully, Mrs. Johnson. TikTok was a huge success. She screamed that you're envious because Wesley is a genuine man. Real men pay their taxes, I added with a chuckle. It was incredible to see the look on her face. However, things improve from here on out. Do you recall that my mom was the best real estate agent in our town? She has also been taking shortcuts, it seems. Not much, but enough to make things interesting when someone, certainly not me, started looking into her company dealings. Who cares about those fantastic reviews she constantly spoke about? After being suspected of anything fishy, half of them just disappeared. Lynn is starting to see imperfections in her stunning new lover. Their weekend trip was cancelled due to Wesley's inability to afford it. She expressed her longing for our chats last week when she attempted to reach out to me via Patrick. Yeah, I know. According to Patrick, I was too busy worrying about my new promotion to notice her drama. Have I already mentioned that I was promoted? Instead of drinking your frustrations away, it turns out that working them out is more productive. Even better than the rise is the timing. Due of financial difficulties, Wesley must return to live with our parents. There has been a rift in the family. Thankfully, half of my cousins are avoiding me. I never warmed up to those people. Whenever either Wesley or Mom post cryptic Facebook remarks about standing firm against detractors, the other half still sends me amusing emojis. Last night's family meeting to resolve issues was the culmination of everything. At my dad's house, Mom and Wesley surprised me. They tried to make me feel guilty about being loyal to my family while Lynn sat there feeling awkward. I wasted no time pulling out my phone to play the video of my mom berating Lynn for being too feminine. That one was new to Dad. In an instant, his cheeks turned a deep purple. He begged his mother to accompany him. To my knowledge, he has never before confronted her like this. Saying I was sad because I wasn't battling fairly, Wesley attempted to get in my face. Simply grinning, I inquired about the status of his protein shake business. He lunged for me, but his swing grazed Dad's coffee table instead. His broken nose is a reflection of his broken pride. Lynn started sobbing and said she didn't want this. In response, I just shrugged. The bed was prepared by you. I pray it served its purpose. After that, I departed, abandoning Wesley to his injuries on Dad's carpet. A deluge of notifications arrived on my phone this morning. An online decision was reached by Wesley's certification board, and he will be prohibited from personal training for a minimum of 2 years. Lynn. Her mother's real estate broker let her go after more concerns surfaced. She is telling everybody who would listen that she was wrong. When you want to get even, how do you do it best? I am feeling much better today. My career is booming, I've met a new person who appreciates loyalty, and I now have my own place to live. Funny how life works like that. Briefly put, the brother and ex-fiancé are under the impression that they fraudulently won. Mom was on their side. My life is better than it has ever been, and they are all suffering the price because I played the long game and legally exposed their evil practices. Make changes. Wow, this went off the rails. Farewell, inbox. The TikTok video will not be shared by me. I'd prefer to keep this private. Second edit. Just stop inquiring about Lynn's social media accounts. It's uncool, dudes. Third revision. Sure enough, Wesley made an effort to swipe at me. No, I refrained from filing charges. Everything was enough. His broken nose and damaged reputation. And lastly, a report. Things have really heated up since my previous post 2 months ago, so I want to thank everyone for their support. Get your popcorn ready because karma has shown up and she's frigid as hell. Everything in Wesley's life came crashing down. No, Lynn crawled back. And just like that, my mom's perfect little world fell apart. Just seeing other people take their own lives can be enough vengeance at times. It all began at 6 in the morning when the phone began to vibrate. That past Thursday. Ignoring Wesley's initial few calls resulted in 19 missed calls from him, Lynn, and my mom by the time I stepped out of the shower. I decided not to return the call. Do you recall my earlier post when I detailed Wesley's supplement business? I just brewed some coffee and watched a Facebook program. As it turned out, his protein shakes were on the edge of legality. The health department was told about his unauthorized company by someone else, not me. During an unexpected inspection, they found his garage to be stocked with old supplements that he had been passing off as premium protein mixes. And what about the finest part? His gym was where he was selling this garbage. His clients started complaining of feeling ill as news got out. He was immediately kicked out of the gym. The one for his personal training. Affluent clients were something my mom used to boast about. Everything is gone. Hang on a minute, I've got good news. Recall that Wesley was the electrician at Mom's office. The one she insisted I look up to because, "Your brother is so handy," she said over and over. Upon getting photographs of illegal electrical work, the building inspector mysteriously showed up. For 2 weeks, our family's real estate agency was closed as emergency repairs were made. She lost a ton of money and couldn't close any of the 3 deals she tried. Nothing was incorrect with what I did. I just made sure the proper people got the right information when they needed it. After Wesley ran into financial trouble and was unable to pay for their apartment, Lynn started to second-guess her upgrading. She came to my house last week, crying to tell me she had messed up. I excused myself and told her I had a lot on my plate. Zoe, the new receptionist at my gym, and I were actually getting ready for a date. It was actually Wesley's old gym. Petty. Very possibly. Is it worthwhile? Sure thing. It was at Sunday's family dinner when the true joy was felt. Mom insisted on these check-ins at the baby showers so she could brag about her accomplished children. I really showed up this time. For the first time following their split. Had Zoe with me. Our mother nearly choked upon seeing us. Wesley and Lynn, who seemed to be in a bad mood, were also there. Given his current financial situation, Wesley has no choice but to wear his old high school attire. My focus was occupied with boasting about my promotion, supervisor position, business truck, and everything else, even though Lynn was attempting to get my attention. My mom attempted to change the subject, but my finally brave dad insisted on asking me about my profession. Afterwards, Wesley became very distraught. I had ruined his life, he started screaming. To protect her beloved son, Mom sprang into action. I did nothing but sit and eat potatoes as Wesley had a complete breakdown. It got so bad that he said I was going to report him to everyone. Needless to say, we couldn't prove a thing. A simple smile and an inquiry about the gym's new protein smoothies were all it took. Everyone said they were the real deal. It was entertaining to see Lynn try to mediate. Please, Stephen, let's move on from this. Lynn, tell me, what have you overcome? Being a stronger man who can't afford Dollar General protein powder is your decision. Mom's property management company is in the dumps. Finding a new job becomes more of a priority after being charged with health code breaches and losing your workplace for 2 weeks. The circle of gossips she cherished. Her handyman son and the scandal around expired supplements are giving them a good time. So what about the icing on the cake? At last, Dad raised his voice. He complained to Mom about how she always picked winners and losers. He claims to have been spending time alone in the guest room, where he has been sleeping. There was no need for me to breach any laws or even throw a punch. I did nothing more than sit back and let karma work her magic. When his plan fell through, all of Wesley's strength was rendered useless. When word got out to the parents at Lynn's school about the controversy, the once beloved golden child of Mom is now the punchline of the neighborhood, and Lynn is reportedly seeking employment as a teacher in a different district. My life is great. Zoe is fantastic. She has more regard for a man who puts in the effort than for one who brags about his protein drinks. In addition to the promotion and salary increase, I was able to get a good night's rest since I knew they would eventually have to face the consequences of their actions. My mom still gives me the occasional call, and she usually gets upset because I've caused tension in the family. The call went straight to voicemail. Last week, Wesley sent a LinkedIn connection request, but the recipient declined. Lynn communicated closure in a detailed email. We removed messages that were not read. A stronger man was what they sought. It wasn't what they were hoping for, but they did receive one. Make changes. For the record, yes, each and every one of the reports and suggestions were factually accurate. They were peddling vitamins that had already expired. This electrical job was obviously not code.